Honestly, this version feels more like 3 or 4 steps forward to me.
这位开着特斯拉在 San Francisco 转悠的 YouTuber 叫 AI Driver， 他使用的是特斯拉的 10.69.3 的无人驾驶版本。我经过他的同意，把视频中的一些内容翻译成中文，剪辑播放出来。
Although it's disguised as just another dot update,
这个 dot update 指的是软件的版本更新的内容比较少，更新比较大就会从第10版到第11版。
Although it's disguised as just another dot update of version 69, there's some major improvements under the hood.
Under the hood 在引擎罩的下面，也就是表面上你看不到的东西。表面上看 10.69.3 是一个小的版本更新，但实际上这个版本有很大的进步。
The clarity of the visualizations for curbs and other vehicles on the road has really never been better. And if you pay close attention in this video, you'll notice it not only visualizing the cars while they're temporarily obstructed, which makes me think the object permanence network has some kind of major update, but it also visualizes the cars themselves from super far away.
69.3 以前的版本在中控屏上没有展示出那么远的车，现在这么远的车大概60到80米都展示出来了。摄像头并没有变化，所以是软件技术提高了，可能是版本交付说明里面提到的一个叫 Photon Count 的技术应用的结果。
Way further than I've ever seen it do before. So as you're watching this video, be sure to keep an eye on the visualizations. Here, where it clearly knows we have a right turn to make in like 1/10 of a mile, but instead decides it wants to argue with this giant sketchy bus instead of slowing down and changing lanes like it should. So
这里它遭遇了一个无人驾驶的不合理的开法，200米之内它就要向右转弯了，它却还在 argue with the giant sketchy bus。而这辆巨型的粗鲁的公交车争论，其实就是在抢道。
It wants to argue with this giant sketchy bus instead of slowing down and changing lanes like it should. So the robotic decision making is still there in a few key areas, which we'll look at more in a minute, but the good news is that these problems feel solvable. The FSD beta has always prioritized pedestrians, cyclists, and other vulnerable road user safety, but usually at the expense of some harsh maneuvers that can feel pretty uncomfortable while you're sitting in the car.
自行车、行人等这些 vulnerable road user 脆弱容易受伤的道路使用者是 FSD Beta 行车时特别注意的物体。FSD 曾经为了优先关照他们而付出了行车不舒服的代价 at the expense of harsh maneuver， 比如说突然刹车、突然向左打方向盘躲避等等。
But this version feels different, and for the better. It feels like it's able to plan.
这个版本进步了很多 ，FSD 流畅的向左避开第一辆自行车，向右避让前面的来车，再向左避让第二辆自行车。踩到双黄线是为了离自行车远一点，没有对方来车的情况下，其实是更安全的。
Honestly, the majority of the time, the beta's now feeling a lot smoother than the average Uber driver I encounter. There were a few times during the drive where I felt like the car was braking for no apparent reason at all and felt lucky there was nobody tailgating me.
Tailgate 追尾 FSD 忽然减速，幸好没有人追尾。换一个角度看，原来是右边有自行车要出来。
But if we replay that same clip back with the wider view, its decision making starts to make sense. The cyclist also then waves us to go ahead, but then immediately begins moving forward. You can see the beta obviously not trusting that.
他这里讲到 FSD 不相信这个骑自行车的人，我觉得在开车的过程中，不相信人其实是一个安全的好习惯。比如说一个人在快速的跑步过街，你相信他一直会往前跑吗？还是说不定会突然间停住，甚至掉头。对于汽车也一样，它虽然是很有礼节的让这辆自行车，但这辆自行车其实离得太远，它让得太突然，也可能导致后面的车追尾。
I'm really not going to care if the car takes an extra second or two to let a pedestrian or cyclist go by. But the human drivers in cities like these do care. And
这是
not
另一
only
个例
that,
子
they probably won't
FSD 远
respect
远
the
看到这个
additional
人走向自己的
safety,
车
which can cause
就
other
开始减
problems,
速
and
让
sometimes
他
even bigger
结果
safety
被后面的车鸣喇叭催
not
促
on
了。
autopilot side. Finding the balance between being an order of magnitude safer than a regular human driver and then also not pissing off those same humans is an extremely tough problem. Here's another example where as we were making a right turn at this intersection, a car begins backing up directly into our path, and as autopilot reacts, we almost get rear-ended by the car behind us who is trying to beat the yellow.
Beat the yellow 战胜黄灯，也就是抢黄灯。FSD 为了避让右前方的车而刹车，而跟在 FSD 后面的车为了直行抢最后的黄灯，差一点追尾。这就是 FSD 尴尬的地方。 我要有礼节，我要让前面的车，但是后面的车却追得太紧。
Because autopilot doesn't force its presence and instead yields to almost everyone, it has a hard time getting along in places like these. You can see as we make this left and go into the inner lane, it turns out to be a left turn only lane and we need to go straight.
下面这个例子里面，特斯拉左转了以后，下一个路口是要直行的，但他不小心开到了左转车道，接下来他需要向右并道，但发现自己来不及了。为了安全起见，他就干脆左转，然后重新规划路线。这是 FSD 灵活更正自己的错误而不会死磕的一个很好的例子。
Its navigation route completes the left-hand turn and finds a new way to get to our destination. It's also doing better when it reacts. You can see it has to brake pretty hard here to stop in time to let these pedestrians cross, but all the braking was done at the beginning, and then it came to a nice smooth stop at the end. Feels way better than it was doing before. And some improvements have also been made while the car's going over crests.
Crest 是机关波峰。San Francisco 的道路特征之一就是有很陡的上下坡，开到坡顶向下的时候，有一阵子司机是看不到自己前面的路了，就像自己在空中一样。
You can see these are kind of sketchy because it's almost blind until you go over the hill. Unrelated, but there's a very nice view of Alcatraz ahead. A very nice day in the city today.
远处隔海相望的是著名的监狱岛 Alcatraz。1963年之后，这个岛就不再是监狱了，而是许多好莱坞大片的假想的发生地。
It also still does have some trouble predicting when cars are parking. You can see the person in front of us is trying to parallel park here.
Parallel parking 侧方停车 ，FSD 还没办法判断出前方的车想要侧方停车，所以他不懂得礼让，导致了司机不得不接管。
Giving him much room. And since autopilot didn't seem like it wanted to go around and isn't yet capable of backing up, it was a disengagement.
现在我很好奇，如果无人驾驶方案采用的是激光雷达的方案的话，激光雷达怎么去判断前面这辆车是要侧方停车，因此需要礼让。
In summary, this is without a doubt and by far the most comfortable and competent version of the full self-driving beta yet, and has me very excited about the future. I've been having a ton of completely intervention-free drives where the only time I'm disengaging is to pull the car over to select a new navigation route.
在我跟踪特斯拉的 FSD 的进展大约1年多的时间内，不少车主反映他们遇到了越来越多的 intervention-free 的旅程，也就是 FSD 自己驾车从出发地到目的地，全程不需要司机的介入。
I really do appreciate you watching. It means a lot. And until next time, bye.